Hello, I'm Connie, and in this video, we are going to talk about how to teach note reading to a 3-year-old. Let's dig in and get started. All right, first of all, I'm going to show you my method, the way that I teach the littles. I teach, the youngest has been 2. I don't recommend a 2-year-old based on the child and their family completely. But 3 and up, this really works. So once I show you the method, you can either buy the books that I use this method in, or once you understand the method, you can recreate it for yourself, however you'd like. Here's a copy of the books. That's the Color Me Musical method books. Okay, the way that the Color Me Musical method teaches these little kids to know the notes, I'm going to show you step by step through the whole process using one note, D. We're going to start on D. First thing, we introduce them to a character that's name and what they are starts with that letter. On D, we have Dave the dragon. David, I call him Dave. And every one of these notes in the musical alphabet has its own character and color. Notice Dave, dragon, is purple. Little kids love stories and they love characters. So when they have a character that's Dave the dragon, it really helps them connect more with the key, if that makes any sense. Now, another important thing to notice on Dave the dragon, he's next to a cave. He lives inside that cave. And I use the cave because that is a visual representation of the 2 black keys on the piano. Think of the cave going up on one side and coming down on the other, and he lives right in the middle. That's where the note D is in between those 2 black keys. We're not talking about the black keys yet. First, just introducing Dave. Let's talk about Dave. Color some pictures of Dave. Then we're going to show what Dave looks like on the piano. Here's the cave. See, there is a top part on those 2 black keys, but it's the black keys, and it shows where Dave lives right in between those black keys. We can find all the Daves on the piano. The next thing, we teach what finger plays Dave, and we are teaching the right hand finger number 2. So they start with that finger playing Dave. In the Color Me Musical books, the first couple songs, that's all there is in the song is just Dave. And when they play that D, they say Dave, Dave, Dave. All right, but the Color Me Musical books have fun illustrations of these characters so that they're kind of doing things. All right, the next step now they know where Dave is on the piano and they can play that Dave and they can find it on their own. They can find the 2 black keys and find Dave in the middle. Now we're going to look up at the music. How do we put that in notation? All right, the first thing is we're going to introduce them to the treble clef. I call her Mrs. Treble and put little long eyelashes on her so she looks more like a character. So this is Mrs. Treble. And where does Dave sit on Mrs. Treble? Because this Dave, the dragon, is always in the treble clef right there. And we look, he's going to sit right on her tail. And we talk about how Dave likes to swing and he uses her tail as a swing. See, he's sitting right there like it's a swing. And if you follow Dave off of Mrs. Treble out into the music, that's where he is in the music. Because Mrs. Treble's over on the side, but he has to move out into the music, but he stays right there on the same place. In the Color Me Musical books, we now have songs with the lines and spaces, but with Dave right there where he belongs on the music. Okay. Now the next step, after the kids have got very solid, and by the way, in the Color Me Musical book, we don't do just one note. They have now been learning C and E and been able to play these songs with these other characters. But in the progression, now that they know those notes on the piano fairly well, we morph those notes. This is the second book into just round note heads. No longer will there be a dragon. Dave has now turned into a note head, and it retains its purple color because they've associated purple. So that note is purple. And they'll be learning some songs now with the note heads that are just the colors. And that transition is really easy because by now they've had so much time to learn where those are. It's easy and they're really pleased with themselves. I can do this. Okay, the next step is we put stems on them. So we do talk about in the Color Me musical books that means it gets 1 count. But they're still saying Cade, Dave, Elix. They're not saying 1, 2, 3, 4 yet. Okay, so they are reading the notes in the music. Now they all are colored. Well, that's not how real music is it? We want to get the kids to where they can read actual notes. So there's Color Me Musical Adagio has 3 books. Once they pass through those 3 and move up into Color Me Musical Moderato, we start taking away the color. So now there's going to be their first song, No More Color on Dave. So the other notes will have color, but Dave does not. So they start learning 1 note to read in just the black and white. And that is the progression, slow progression, break it down into tiny, tiny little steps that I get my 3-year-olds to be able to read note music. I hope you love it and use it on your own.